We have also with us the director of IIT Hyderabad. We welcome you also. And now I call upon Sri N. Hanumantarao, IS collector and district magistrate of the district, Sangareddy. Yeah, I welcome you, sir. And also I welcome Sri M. Ramana Kumar, SP of Sangareddy.
Can come up to the dance and would be great.
I also welcome Professor Renu John. The founder of Cardiovascular, Mr. Rajesh. Now we'll proceed with the program and we'll start with the national anthem. So I ask everyone to please stand up.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
We also Dr. G. Satish Reddy with us, but he is not physically present here. He is available online. He is the chairman of BRDO. Now I request our director to please welcome our guests.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Madam Tamisai for gracing this particular occasion and being on the campus, first visit of her and to this beautiful campus, which is striving hard in the area of innovation, not only we educate our students, but also ensure that all the students and faculty try their best in the area of innovation, to the extent that we even started calling ourselves the IITH as inventing and innovating in technology for humanity. That's how we renamed ourselves, and we try to see that innovation flows in the blood of all of us. And what you see, Madam, what she's going to launch today is one such product which has come out of those innovations. And I'm sure there are many more which are on the way. And thanks to the whole the faculty, students who have been working hard in bringing out wonderful innovations. And IITH has been mentoring all of them through various programs. I do not want to go into all of them, basically because we would like to listen to Madam and get her blessings to ensure that we have more and more great programs in terms of startups. Just to give you an idea that though we are just about 12 years old, IIT Hyderabad, we have more than 100 startups, more than 200 patents, and these startups have already started earning more than 100 crores and given jobs to more than about 800 people. Just to give you a flavor of how the innovation system is at IIT Hyderabad. We are also starting a school of entrepreneurship, innovation and entrepreneurship, thanks to our beloved BOG chairman Mohan Reddy Garu, who is contributing financially for that, about 20 crores. He has donated to IIT Hyderabad to start this school of entrepreneurship and innovation. And under that school, we ensure that many more such innovative ideas are nurtured and mentored through the faculty members. With those few words, thank you very much once again. Welcome to all of you for this wonderful program for which we are waiting for. Thank you.
So the moment has come that we offer in the hand of public the most innovative, one of the most innovative products that CFSC has come up with. So now I invite Mr. Rajesh and Mr. Cheryl, the founders of the company Aeroviruses, to arrange for the unveiling of the product Jeevan Lite.
Please bring it to the front here.
Yeah. So proceeding further, now I invite our chairman to deliver the presidency's speech.
Honorable Governor of Telangana and Puducherry, Srimati Dr. Tamilisai Soundararajan, Professor B.S. Murthy, Director of IIT Hyderabad, Mr. Hanumantarao, District Collector, Mr. Ramana Kumar, the Superintendent of Police, many other dignitaries on the dais, off the dais, and good afternoon to all of you. At the outset, let me extend a very warm welcome to the Honorable Governor, who's coming to our campus for the first time. Very warm welcome to you, Amma. Again, a round of applause to our Honorable Governor. But what you see here is all built in the last, say, 8-9 years. It was barren land of 6,000 acres that was given to IIT. Rightfully, the state government gave it to us. But give us another 2 years from now, maybe 12 months, because of the COVID that we got a little bit slowed down. But otherwise, you'll see a beautiful campus which is world class. And to give you a few little statistics, Madam Governor, is that we house 4,000 students in this campus right now. We have 250 PhD scholars who teach in this IIT. We're also trying our best to bring in more amount of diversity and inclusion. 15% of our students are women, and we have 20% of our faculty are also women. We certainly stand out on those numbers. Madam Governor, this is one of the newer IITs, which is called Gen 2 IITs. With humility, I will also share with you, I belong to Gen 1 IIT. I graduated from IIT Kanpur way back in the 70s. But these are the second generation IITs that came in. But the second generation IITs, which are 13 years old, and 10 of them got started off, trust me, this is the best. You can go ahead and look at any way, whether it's NIRF rankings, the QS rankings, whichever are the ARIA rankings. In every ranking, we are the best. So certainly the credit does not go to me. It goes to the director, the faculty, and the students. Amazing stuff you have, and we'll continue to do this. Let me then move on and congratulate the the Jeevan Lite, the smart medical ICU ventilator, which has been done by Aerobiosis. The team is here. Congratulations to all of you who have done this. It's an amazing technology that's been built into it. They'll talk about it in a little while. We originally thought they'll start talk ahead of me, but it's okay. They'll start talk thereafter. But I think what I like to say is this is the future for all of us. I'm sure some of you are familiar that I also play a very important role in NASSCOM. We have named this decade as Tech Aid. It's technology which will be the key driving force. To the extent we feel very delighted, the Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Modi, used this word again in his speech on startups on 21st of January 2021, calling this decade as Tech Aid. We think there'll be an enormous amount of progress will happen in technology, never seen before by mankind. And especially there are 5 mega trends that we are seeing at this point of time. The first mega trend is all to do with the healthcare and well-being of mankind. That's one trend that will happen. Technology will come and help us in terms of making life much more efficient, much longevity. All these things will come into play. And the second one is we'll also see more amount of smart operations, which will do with more amount of mobility. You'll see more amount of driverless cars and so on and so forth. And the third one is on the communications. The 5G will be a reality. My good friends in our communication department talked to me saying that, Mr. Reddy, you're outdated. 6G is what we need to talk about. That's what the future is like. And that is where we are doing research right now. So that's the third mega trend. And the fourth one is about sustainable businesses. And the fifth is all about the space. It's called the meta-mobility and the space-related work. But at least 3 out of these 5, there is enormous amount of work done by IIT Hyderabad in what we see as healthcare devices. That's number 1. Number 2, in terms of mobility. And the third one is on communication. These are the trends which will differentiate us. Lastly, what I will say is that all this will lead into one thing, is that longevity of people will increase. I'm sure you've heard this in the past. In the last 500 years, the average lifespan of a human being has gone up by 30 years, which means the technology is helping them to improve the longevity. For every 17 years of research, the longevity of a human being has gone up by 1 year. What we believe is it doesn't require 17 years any longer. A good example of that is what we did with the vaccines. Traditionally, vaccines in the world took 10 years to develop. What happened with COVID vaccine? It took less than a year. It was 11 months start to finish for mRNA vaccine to come by. So I think there's an enormous amount of opportunity, and we like to commit to our Honorable Governor, all the dignitaries here, will continue to work in these areas to make sure that the mankind will benefit from these technologies. Certainly, yes, I think what is more passionate to me in my life is all about entrepreneurship. So we'll create this School of Innovation and Entrepreneurship. Equally important is that there are 2 other major initiatives that are happening. There is Technology Innovation Center, TIP. TIP is Technology Innovation Program, Technology Innovation Park, and we also have TRP, which is Technology Research Park. Now, you look at the combination of research will lead into innovation. Innovation then has to lead into an entrepreneurship. A combination of these 3 things will bring more amount of prosperity to everyone around us. Thank you very much, Madam Governor, for being with us this morning. Thank you very much for the team which has done this amazing device. and good luck to all of you. Thank you.
With those words of blessings from the head of our family, I invite the founders, Mr. Rajesh and Mr. Salir, to come forward and demonstrate the product for the owners.
Thank you everyone for attending this launch. First of all, I'd like to thank the dignitaries on the dais and all those who have been present here for the launch. So to talk about our journey, I'll just try to be very crisp. Aerobiosis, back in 2018, we came up with this idea. We spent long hours in ICU to identify this problem of respiratory care before even COVID came in. We found, like me and my co-founder Cyril Anthony, we came up with this idea. We saw a 4-year-old child suffering for like he was not able to breathe. He was brought in with a pneumonia condition. And then we identified the lack of ventilator, the shortage of ventilator in Indian healthcare system. We went to Renu sir, who is the chair of CFHE. He's like, if we want to solve this problem, he said, we really want to solve this. So I said, it's a really competitive field. If you want to get in, you need to come up with some innovations. That's when COVID came in, and then we were working on a separate device as world's first differential lung ventilation system. But COVID came in, and then we pivoted to a different system called Jeevan Lite, what you see right now here. It's a smart IoT-based low-cost ventilator for Indian healthcare system. It can be used for even in rural setup. That's our dream, to take an ICU care facility to a rural or a semi-urban setup. And this whole program, we had multiple partners who came in between, starting from BIRAC, Department of Science and Technology, Department of Biotechnology, USAID, IPE Global, Samrit program. So it's a huge journey who has been, and if I'm missing out, JCB India Private Limited through the CSR funding and HDFC too. So it's like, it's not just one team which has worked through. There is in background, there are multiple people who trusted us. And then that's how what you see as a final outcome. That's what we see over here. So now I would ask Mr. Cyril Anthony to explain about the product, who's the CTO of the company. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. As my co-founder Rajesh Yadav said, this is a wonderful chance for us to establish our device here in the presence of Honorable Governor Dr. Srimati Tamilisai Soundararajan, ma'am. It's very grateful to have you here, ma'am, and other dignitaries here. Thank you so much for this opportunity. So quickly coming to this device. So we had this idea before COVID. So we started working on the engineering part of the device way before the COVID. So we solved almost the entire challenges, whatever the other companies are facing, and right now the semiconductor industries are facing. There is a shortage of semiconductors. So we overcome those problems, and right now the device is ready over here. So coming up to the what is this problem it's going to solve is basically the need of ventilation at a rural care. So we have engineered the device with the best minds of IIT Hyderabad and the associated clinicians. So this device currently has all the modes of ventilation which are necessary to ventilate a COVID, starting from a COVID to ARDS, COPD, and any other lung-related disease conditions. So starting with so it has a 10.1 inch of touchscreen. So you can see here. So you can see here basically. So there is a 10.1 inch of touchscreen which is completely intuitive. This is here. We can also see. Sure. Right, towards the middle. So that
can I have the mic?
Yeah. Hello. So coming in, it has a 10.1 inch of touchscreen where you can see the intuitive UI, which covers all the necessary clinical parameters of the ventilator, starting from the peak inspiratory pressure to the peak, the positive expiratory end pressure to the respiratory rate, and other clinical parameters have been covered here. And it has a 4.5 hours of inbuilt battery backup. So in any kind of a transportation, this device can be used, especially from transporting COVID patients from hospital to hospital, or in a home care setup, or in different situations, like emergency situations. We can trust this device upon. And it has the universal modes such as CME, that is mandatory modes of ventilation, and synchronous mandatory modes of ventilation, SME modes, which has both pressure and volume control modes, which are available. And it has also diagnostic clinical parameters, that is SpO2, which everyone knows, which is very essential in COVID treating cases. And it has a humidifier setup also, which in terms of FiO2 conservation, when it is addressed to the patient, you can they have a open enriched treatments to the patients. And it is the synchronous between the patients. Usually the ventilator basis are asynchrony. So you set up a respiratory rate which goes asynchronous with the patient's breathing effort, which happens mostly in the COVID cases. So we have come up with a smart synchronous method which senses the patient's figure using the proximal flow sensors which are attached to the nearby the lung. So this is the lung you can see here. So this is the proximal center attached to the proximal end of the lung. So then the sensing of the patient. So when the patient, a COVID patient, especially a COVID patient, when it's trying to take a breath, and that is a spontaneous breath, the sensors easily detects them and able to give them the proper tidal volume which is required by the patient. And much more features are the real-time lung parameters. You can get it from the compliance to the resistance of the lung. Other clinical parameters are obtained over here. So and it has a special quick start function, which is you can set up the ventilator within 10 seconds of the initial standby mode. So right now I'm just resuming the ventilation part. So you can see the set parameters are being displayed over here on the left side of the display, and the right side gives all the lung parameters. And you can see a dynamic lung over here, which is in synchronous to the lung breathing pattern. And it has a Jeevan Connect app, which connects with this ventilator, and from remote access, doctors can see the patient's clinical status. What is the SpO2, what is the other kind of data. So what is the different stance? This device stands different to the other devices are. So it has a mechanism. It's not just a therapeutic device, but it's a device which starts from diagnostic to end of training. So we come in a flow actually. So what happens is when a patient comes into the hospital, we start getting their diagnostic details like X-ray images, CT images, and other lung-related data like arterial blood gas values. Then we start treating them. So based on the treatment, we again input the analysis data. So how preventively we can recover them from the ventilators. So protect them from still damaging the lung. So that is how the device has been engineered. So as a closing point, so this device has the complete setup has been made in indigenously from India, and very minimal parts have been sourced from outside. So the scalability and manufacturing is been really easy over here, and this can be scaled faster. And already we are into the production of 200 ventilators. And in the end of the product launch, we will be handing over 10 devices to Dr. Tamil. Thank you.
Thank you once again for everyone for attending this talk from here of SSC. And once again, one small thing I think Cyril missed out. This wouldn't have been possible without the like days and nights the whole team was working from last 2 years. So I would like all of you to please clap for the team, which is working on the.
Thank you, team, and wishing you good luck for the future. I hope it touches millions of lives and spares millions of spines. Now I invite Dr. Satish Reddy, who is online, to share a few words of wisdom. Thanks.
Namaskar, Honorable Governor of State of Telangana and Puducherry, Dr. Tamilisai Soundararajan, Dr. B.V.R. Mohan Reddy, the Chairman, Board of Directors, IIT Hyderabad, Professor V.S. Murthy, Director, IIT Hyderabad, and the District Collector, and all others who are present there, and most importantly, the representatives from Aerobiosis, Mr. Rajesh Tangwell and Mr. Cyril Anthony, and all others, very good afternoon and namaskar. My heartiest congratulations to IIT Hyderabad on developing this low-cost IoT-based ventilator and working with the industry, and industry ready to produce them in the quantities now. Professor B.S. Murthy has been actually, since he took over as Director IIT Hyderabad, he has been actually pursuing this development of the ventilator, as ventilator has become very essential requirement during the COVID pandemic. And once he took over, we should develop a low-cost ventilator which will be made available to the common man and also at all the places, particularly in the rural areas. As you know, many people in the country have worked on this ventilator, and many people have been And a couple of years back, if you look at, the country was almost not having a ventilator, except one or two industries were developing some ventilator. But in the year 2020, when Honorable Prime Minister has formed a group of secretaries to create the necessary medical infrastructure which is required to fight the COVID. So we, one of the group of secretaries, we have actually taken up this task and then uh, funded many institutions and tried to develop the ventilator. One is where DRDO and Bharat Electronics Limited have worked together to develop a high-end ICU ventilator and has produced about 30,000 ventilators in that pandemic period and delivered by 14th August 2020. And then there are a couple of other organizations also like Agua and then Jyoti. All these people have produced, and then close to about 50,000 plus ventilators were made available in the country. But then the ventilators requirement still is even today is an essential requirement, and also the quantities are not sufficient for the type of hospitals we have and the patients what we have, and we are not very sure still today the COVID pandemic is still vanished and again going to come in a form, some form or other is to be seen. So at this time, IIT Hyderabad coming out with this and with the industry Aerovasis is very good, and I'm sure that all the clinical trials and everything will be, uh, some have been done and fully will be completed, and then the approvals necessary which are required will be taken up. And I provide any necessary help in this direction required to IIT Hyderabad, either from DRDO side and also as a part of the group of secretaries here. Um, we will try to take it forward, this ventilator, to see that it is approved and then it will be uh, made available to the nation. And IIT Hyderabad, particularly, we have been working very closely, and particularly Professor Murthy, right from his days of IIT Chennai, we've been working on various uh, topics, particularly in the metallurgy area with him, and then various other issues and other image processing and other things related, artificial intelligence related things with IIT Hyderabad. And particularly the role of IIT Hyderabad in the Vaibhav program, the Vaishvik Bharati Vajnan Sammelana, which has happened, which Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji has inaugurated and shown key interest in actually having all the eminent personalities, eminent academicians and professors to join on one platform. IIT Hyderabad has played a major important role. And particularly, we have started a vertical of our research in Hyderabad, IIT Hyderabad, part of IIT Chennai, and we try to make it an independent center of excellence in the coming future at IIT Hyderabad with the DRDO. And we like to work on many future projects with you, and definitely like to utilize, as DRDO has a major presence in IIT Hyderabad, in Hyderabad, city of Hyderabad. All the missile complex, the electronic warfare, materials, research laboratories, and lasers related laboratories are located in Hyderabad. And they will definitely try to utilize your expertise in these areas and try to pursue the fundamental research and translational research with IIT Hyderabad. And we will work together in the future. And my best wishes to you, and best wishes to Aerovasis and to the entire people of IIT Hyderabad. And thank you very much, and Jai Hind, Namaskar.
Thank you so much, sir. Sometimes the word may not suffice in elaborating the contribution that some people make to the society. Likewise, in the case of our chief guest today, Her Excellency Dr. Tamilisai Soundararajan, the Governor of Telangana State and the Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry. So I will try my best to give a brief introduction of her. Sure. Dr. Tamilisai Soundararajan was born on 2nd June 1961 in Nagarkal, Kanyakumari district, Tamil Nadu. She took charge as the governor of Telangana state on 8th September 2019 and happens to be the first woman to hold the office. She has remarkable public and social service background spanning over 20 years. She also has illustrious political career in last 2 decades, where she has successfully led the state unit of a political party with noteworthy accomplishments. She started her career as a medical practitioner after completing her MBBS and PG in gynecology. She has undertaken special training on ultrasound and fetal therapy at Toronto, Canada. She worked as an assistant professor at SRMC, Chennai, for 7 years and resigned in 2003 for full-time political engagements. She nurtures great devotion towards public services and announcement of living standards of common people with focus on health and education as a prime agenda. She has donned the head of being a state head of a political party and steering it with exemplary management skills and pro-people service milieu. To keep it short, the last thing I'll say is that she happens to be very focused towards the development of society and well-being of citizens even at the last mile. I welcome you, ma'am.
A special good afternoon to each and everyone here. Dr. G. Satish Reddy Garu, Secretary Defense, Chairman DRDO, Professor B.S. Murthy Garu, Director IIT Hyderabad, Dr. B.V.R. Mohan Reddy Garu, Chairman IIT Hyderabad, eminent scientists, esteemed media friends, beloved participants, and what's the name of both of you? Cheryl. Cyril. Rajesh and Cyril and his team. And all the students, faculty members, media friends, security personnel. Special good afternoon to you all. I feel privileged to be here at the prestigious Institute of Technology, Hyderabad. And I appreciate Sri Mohan Reddy Garu for initiating the School of Excellence in the IIT, and your contribution really complimentary to this institution. And I appreciate Professor B.S. Murthy Garu. But for a leader like him, and I forgot the collector and welcome you all. But for a leader like B.S. Murthy Garu, it wouldn't have been possible. And when I landed here, sorry for the delay because I straight away landed the airport and went to Green Energy Conference, and from there straight away I'm coming here. I didn't even go to the house, Raj Bhavan, because I was so much interested to come here. And no any other invention would have made me happy as the innovation of the ventilator, as a doctor. Not only that, during the pandemic period, midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, early morning, 4 o'clock, panic calls. The other end says, we want a bed with ventilator. My father, mother, friend, gasping for want of ventilator. So this, hearing those words, 2 o'clock, even when I have Twitter messages, 24 hours Raj Bhavan was working. And whenever we had a message, even sleepless nights, not only the patients, doctors, administrators, the most wanted call was a bed with ventilator. So, no any other invention or innovation for which you called me to the prestigious institute of IIT Hyderabad would make me happy, but for such an invention. But I pray God, you invent more, but we will exhibit it. We should not be made into use. That is my prayer also. Patients should not, because you are inventing, so the patient should all be hale and healthy. To take care and to give confidence to the doctors, let it be beside the bed. But I pray God, there should not be a situation, this ventilator should be used so that everyone should be hale and healthy. Particularly, we should not face a situation like pandemic. And I appreciate these youngsters. They told we started inventing these ventilators before the pandemic situation, and because the youngsters like researchers, scientists, and the institutions work like that, compared to any other country, we were able to combat the situation more successfully when compared with any other even developed countries because of the continuous, consistent efforts of our medical fraternity, scientists, and other technological people. And we were dreaming for a situation where we can produce medical equipments, because as a doctor, when I passed my post-graduation, before my post-graduation, I went for a training for ultrasound, fetal therapy. Then when I got, by applying a loan, I got a small ultrasound machine. And I was using it, and I was using for poor patients also. But when one part went out of order, I happened to wait for more than 4 months to get it imported from Japan. So that was the situation we were facing. But now, Indian innovations, because thanks to our Honorable Prime Minister's motivation, Startup India, Stand Up India, Self-Reliance India. So because of that, we are motivated and we are producing indigenous medical equipment. Hats off to the technology as well as the scientists. As a humble doctor, I compliment you, because we know the sufferings of the patient, and as doctors, we know the sufferings of getting a small, simple part from abroad in a equipment which is imported. So I really compliment you. And apart from that, we during our younger days as medical students, we didn't see any indigenous equipments. In a lighter sense, I used to tell a story. We were fascinated about the equipments which are imported. Even if it is indigenous, we when compare our indigenous product and when imported product, we always get fascinated about that. So in a lighter sense, I used to tell a story. One foreign returned person got into an auto. Then the bus crossed. Then he told, no, what is this bus in Telangana? Very slowly it's going. In abroad, America and all, it will go very fast. Then one lorry was passing by. Then he told, what is this lorries and all? Going very slow. If it is in America, so it will go very fast. The engines are very fast like that. So like that he was commenting. So this auto brother went to the destination, and then when he got down, he told, give me 400 rupees. Then that traveler got excited and got worried. And he told, what is this short duration only I traveled? You are asking me 400 rupees. Then that auto brother told, this auto is made in India, but this meter made in America. So it went very fast. So 400 rupees. So this is the pattern. You are not excited. So when you tell America, so when it pinches you, pricks you, you know the pain of it. So we were all dreaming. I also laud our Honorable Prime Minister and the state governments. We have crossed 180 crore of indigenous vaccine. I have taken my indigenous vaccine, which is produced in my country, which we were dreaming of that situation which we didn't think about it even during our younger days. So because of the institutions and our Professor B.S. Murthy Garu and Dr. B.V. Mohan Reddy Garu were very proud about this institution. When they were telling this 4,000 students, 1/3 of them are MTech, 1/3 of PhD, and 1/3 of BTech. And Professor Murthy told, I am maintaining the reservation. So that's up to you, because it is very difficult to maintain such a percentage and proportion. And they are very proud about that TRT technology of research park and innovation park, TIP and TRP. So because of TIP, that TRP is rising. I have to say, If it is a television mode, it's a tiered. And I should say TIP means they are technological innovation park. And as governor, I should say Telangana's Institute of Pride. This is, I can say, I can translate in such a way. And as a doctor, we were longing for such innovations and inventions. And I really appreciate the students. And my appeal is because we are not of the pandemic. We may face the fourth wave, but we crossed the second wave and third wave. In spite the whole world was suffering to combat the virus, we could manage in much better way because of our innovations and our research, short-term research. As Mohan Reddy Garu told, to invent one vaccine, it will take more than 2 years, 3 years, but within 11 months we invented our vaccine because of our expertise in our of our scientists and the motivation from the government. And I should say, my appeal is to the students, please go for research activities. If you may be in the first year and some of the seniors or your staff may not include you in the researchers, but you go and tell them, add my name, at least fourth name or fifth name. I will just at least write notes for you. Please add, so please add your researches, presentations, publications. So now it's the need of the hour. And first pandemic, as doctors, we were unable to form a protocol to treat the patients. But after experience seeing the patients, then we formed the protocol. And first we thought it's only lungs affected, then we thought heart affected, then blood vessels affected. But because of the continuous research activities, we could come out with a good protocol. So when compared with other countries, we were able to combat the virus in much better way and more successful way. So the pride goes to institutions like IIT Hyderabad and DRDO. DRDO also helped us a lot in producing the PPEs. Initially, we imported the PPE and then we produced the PPE. And I'm very proud that even though Telangana is the pharmaceutical hub, India became the pharmaceutical capital and we exported medicines for more than 150 countries, which was once told a poor country. Now it's a developed country, developing country. So even the developed countries were looking forward for our medicines and for our vaccination and for our equipments. So I'm really very happy to be here and you all should be very hungry. But in spite of that, my mind and stomach is full because after seeing the ventilators, so like these innovations, good in small innovations. So let us all today think that in any way, in a simpler way also, in a small way also, we should contribute in research or in complementing the research activities so that we will take part in the challenges which is going to be faced by the country, the world, even in the future conditions. We are not, as I said, as a doctor, I can say we are not of pandemic. We may face fourth wave, we may have some other forms of pandemic, but continue your innovations and continue your inventions so that let us all be hale and healthy. My prayers are, whatever may be the situation we face, but everyone should be safe, everyone should have a long life. But when I see about the instruments, my appeal is, please take nutritious food. Look after your health also. Please improve your, not only inventions, your immunity also. So it means improve your immunity also. That also I can say. So please take our traditional food because our traditional foods are rich in creating immune to our body. So we are practiced to that type of life pattern. So be happy, healthy, and do yoga every day morning, meditation apart from your profession. But why I am telling professionals, including me, always ignore the health. So please concentrate on health as well as concentrate on the innovations and inventions and be happy and always exemplify in your life by doing something unique in your life. You should not be ordinary, should be extraordinary in your efforts so that your country is much proud about you and your talent should be useful to the country. As our Honorable Prime Minister always says, and I have written a book of PM and PM. which says Prime Minister in the pandemic management. Because of this, he motivated not only the medical fraternity, he motivated the technology as he said, technology, digital, going digital and everything. Because of our innovations, we are very proud that as a country, we could manage the virus more successfully than any other country. My hats off to you, the invention innovators, and I really appreciate your presence here. Thank you so much.
Henry Amma. I feel that the auto driver of your story has given a very strong message to all of us so that we become even more committed towards leveraging technology to keep on inventing and innovating impactful products and services. That way, I'm sure we'll be able to realize our Prime Minister's vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-reliant India. Thank you so much. Now I request Rajesh to take.
Thank you, Dr. Sai. So now we will hand over the first 10 units to Governor Ma'am, which will be handed over to the Telangana and Pondicherry government. And this has been funded by, we have Mr. Himanshu from USAID. He is a director of Pahal Project Samrit, under Samrit. He would like to say a few words and then we'll hand it over the 10 units which we plan to give it to the Telangana and Pondicherry government. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rajesh. Honorable Governor Ma'am, Dr. Reddy, Director IT, Hyderabad, and other dignitaries of the dais, as well as online. It gives us, ma'am, immense pleasure to be part of this journey that Aerobices has done over the last couple of years in developing the Jeevan Lite device. And this support has come through the Samrit Blended Healthcare Financing Facility, which has been supported by USAID and is in collaboration with National Health Authority, Niti Aayog, Atal Innovation Mission, as well as the Office of the Principal Scientific Advisor. And ma'am, the goal of this initiative is primarily to support innovators like Aerobiosis, scale up their operations, provide them the required funding support to scale up their work and reach the vulnerable populations, tier 2, tier 3 towns, as well as rural areas. We have been doing this, and besides Aerobiosis, now supported another 22 innovations across the country, coming from eminent institutions like IIT Hyderabad. And we have been really glad to be part of this journey and to contribute to the betterment of healthcare in the country. Thank you, ma'am.
Maybe you can ask your whole team.
Now I invite Professor Renu to deliver the vote.
First of all, I thank for contributing and this ventilators, and with our consistent and continuous efforts. First flight from connecting Hyderabad and Puducherry is going to be initiated on 27th this month. First flight, we are connect, not only governor is connecting, air connectivity is going to come between, will be inaugurated and initiated from Hyderabad to Puducherry. So because you complimented this with me, I will take one so that goodwill of Telangana will fly to the goodwill of Puducherry, the first flight. Thank you. Thank you.
They have a pilot plant there.
Yeah, yeah.
They are basically there.
Now I invite Professor Anu John to deliver the vote of thanks. Honorable Governor of Telangana and Honorable Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry, Srimati Dr. Tamilisai Soundararajan, Honorable Board of Governors Chairman Dr. B.V.R. Mohan Reddy, our DRDO Chairman Dr. Sadish Reddy, District Collector Sri Harimuth Rao, Superintendent of Police Sri Ramana Kumar, all the invited guests present here, my colleagues and friends. In fact, it's a moment of pride for all of us to be here in this launching function. In fact, it is one of the testimonies for the ecosystem and the IIT Hyderabad ecosystem that is fostering innovation and development of medical devices and medical device products. I would like to extend my gratitude to Honorable Governor Srimati Tamilisai Soundararajan for gracing this occasion and coming here for the launching this device. I would like to thank our Board of Governors, Sri B.V.R. Mohan Reddy, who have been always dynamic and supporting all our ventures. We thank our director, Professor B.S. Murthy, who have been extending all the support for the development of this product, even during the extreme lockdown conditions, extending all the support for this product. So thanks and gratitude to all our clinical partners, Kambini Group of Medical Institutions, NIMS Hyderabad, Asian Institute of Gastroenterology, for all the clinical testing and validations of this product. Thanks to the funding support from the government, Department of Science and Technology, DBT BIRAC, and our CSR partners, HDFC Limited, the team led by the SDFC team for the corporate relations, and the JCB Private Limited, who are supporting the development of this project. I thank all of you present here on this occasion. Thank you very much.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you, everyone. Now we'll be breaking for 15 minutes. and then we'll resume the next session.
Lunch again, guest house we have to go, madam. That is the